I can just answer those questions. So let's say the Jaykar and the prayer and let's begin. Sri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai, Sri Sadguru Maharaj ki jai, Shri Prananath Pyare ki jai, Param Pujya Guruji Brahmalin Shri Dindayal Maharaj ki jai, Bol Bol Panje Wale ki jai, Sarva Sundar Saath ki jai. Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpathyadi Tapatraya Vinashaya Sri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Sri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Sri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai. Pranam to everyone. Okay. So in the last class, whatever we had seen, I would just like to give you in a nutshell that whatever we did, uh, I will just copy paste it, and you'll also can copy paste it in maybe a document, a Word doc, something like that. So this should be helpful indeed. Just allow me a minute. Okay. Yes. You are able to see the points that I have copy pasted for you all. Um, you can see it in the chat, Zoom chat. Okay. Okay. So this is all about chapter 3, where Arjun begins to say, I'm also taking a short revision of the same thing before we proceed under the fresh points. So all this is in a nutshell, where Arjun is asking Shri Krishna ji that if you consider that knowledge is superior to action, to karmas, then why are you asking me to wage a war? Why shouldn't I sit back with my knowledge of Bhagavad Gita? In reply, the Lord says, O Arjun, I have already taught you about the two paths which lead to enlightenment. The first one is the path of knowledge, the second one is the path of work or action. Now, these two paths are meant for two different individuals, two kinds of individuals, those who are inclined towards contemplation. For them, he has mentioned the path of knowledge. And for those who are inclined towards action, Sri Krishna has mentioned for them the path of action. So there are two paths, path of knowledge, path of action. So any soul can take up either of the paths as per whatever is conducive to them, which will lead to enlightenment. So, Sri Krishna further says, if you see the third point, he says that nobody can abstain himself from doing the physical actions. If I say that I'm going to become actionless today, I'm not going to talk, I'm not going to breathe, how will I live? Even breathing or eating for that matter, all that comes under doing actions. So, can we abstain from actions? Can we restrict ourselves from doing actions? There is no chance. Therefore, if you see, Sri Krishna says, only merely renouncing your uh, karmas or your actions, that I'm not going to fight if Arjuna says so. Sri Krishna says that is not possible, that you physically renounce your activities. Further, if you see the point number 4, there is no such moment in your day. There is no such second in your day when you are actionless. You're not doing any activity. Even if you shake your hand, even if you breathe, even if you sneeze, all that is action. So if you understand the depth of action, every second of ours, some or the other mental, physical action is going on within us. How can we completely restrain from actions? There is no way out. So, when Arjun has asked this question in point number 1, that why are you asking me to wage a war? But Sri Krishna says that's part of your action and you cannot restrain yourself from doing action. So, further, if you see point number 4, Sri Krishna is making it very, very clear that who is performing action? It is the 3 modes of nature within us, which compel us, which make us do actions. If you all remember, we have learnt about it. The mode of peace and knowledge, the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance. These are the 3 modes. In the name of Shastras, Sadgun, Rajagun, Tamogun, isn't it? So that is why, please understand that whatever actions we do are compelled either by Satgun, either by Rajagun, or by Tamogun, either of the 3. Is this much clear for everyone? Are you all trying to note this? Because I think you all can just copy paste it so that you save time and you listen attentively. That's more important. So, uh, okay, I will have to give you further more points for this. Just a minute. I'm just copy pasting the points for you all. Further points. Just allow me half a minute. Yeah. Okay. Can you see the further points now? Yeah. Let's discuss the further points now. Mm. In point number 5, Sri Krishna says that there are individuals, who think that I am not doing a particular action. So externally, if you look at them, they do not perform any action. However, internally, their mind is running towards some or the other sensory objects, some or the other pleasures. Therefore, if you look at such individuals, they are acting like hypocrites who within themselves are greedy enough to experience all the sense pleasures. However, externally, or if you look at them apparently, they are not revealing it. They show as if they are actionless. They show as if they are peaceful. Sri Krishna says such individuals are cheating themselves because becoming actionless or sitting idly without any duty performance is not regarded as good because you cheat yourself as well as the society. Therefore, in point number 5, Sri Krishna is saying the best way out is to control your senses through knowledge rather than sitting idly without doing any action. For example, if there are two friends and those two friends they go to visit a particular place. The first friend says, I'm not interested in visiting any place. I'm just going to sit down there idly. The second friend goes and roams about. He enjoys the entire place. The first friend, although he was sitting at one place, his mind was always reveling in what all the other friend was doing. So you all can get the difference behind what I'm talking. Even if you're sitting at one place and not enjoying a certain situation, your mind will go and revel in that because you are getting attached to that place. However, even if you are roaming about just as the second friend did, even in that case, if your senses are restrained with the help of knowledge, you may not do anything wrong, even if you go about roaming in that place. Therefore, actually becoming actionless or not performing any duty is of no use. Perform your duties. If you go to any place, enjoy that place. Do not allow your senses to completely be immersed in that or to be carried away in that, in simple words. So, that is point number 5, where Sri Krishna says that merely sitting actionless is of no use. This chapter 3 is all about Karma Yoga or the yoga of action. So, the Lord is explaining action in depth. What all comes under action, how we are supposed to perform our actions. Then, further, in point number 6, he says that whatever work you perform, be it your studies, be it cooking food, or be it taking care of your business, bringing up your child, all that is the action. It's a part and parcel of our life. Now, when you do such actions, just make sure, dear friends, that the action is surrendered to the Lord. When you surrender a particular action, for example, your mother cooks food, and when she takes the first plate of cooked food, she offers it to Sri Krishna, to the Lord in the temple at home. All that food that is cooked becomes prasad, it becomes pure. Whereas only if food is cooked and is served, and if you eat it up, there is no use in that because you are just eating, just as animals would do. But when you make that prayer to the Lord, you surrender that food to the Lord first, take it as a prasad, it will give you a lot of purity. As it is said, right, that some people eat to live and some live to eat. So we shouldn't be amongst those who live to just keep eating. In fact, we just have to eat food for living, for keeping up the body. But the most important fact here is that whenever we prepare any food, whenever we do any activity, for example, you're preparing for your examinations, all that preparation is to be surrendered to Sri Krishna that, O Almighty, O Lord, I have prepared myself to the best extent possible, and you please bless me. So, this is the frame of mind in which we are supposed to perform all our duties. When you bring up your children, the same thing. You are nurturing the child with a lot of qualities which you already have. When you do that, just think that I am trying to grow a tender plant and I have to provide it water, manure, sunlight should be available. All those things I have to give. At the same time, I have to remember that I am not the producer of water. I am not giving it sunlight. All that is being given by the Lord Himself. I'm just taking care of it. When you surrender your activities by thinking so, those activities will be surrendered to Sri Krishna. I hope it is clear up till now. And what is the consequence that your activities are surrendered to Sri Krishna? When you surrender activities, the attachment in the fruits will not be there. Otherwise, every activity, you will think that I need to get some fruits out of it. So if you are completely focused on the fruits, then those fruits will create a bondage. You will be binded by the fruits. The other class, I remember Sami had asked me this question, that what do you mean that it will create a bondage or we will be bound by it? You will have to experience the fruit, good or bad. If you give a small piece of cake or something to a poor person, you will get a fruit of that action. If you perform a negative or a bad action, you will accrue a fruit for that as well. Being bound means those fruits which are there with you, you will have to experience them. You cannot escape experiencing the fruits of action, that is being bound. So, when you surrender the action, you are not bound by the fruits. Please understand. This is a very, very in-depth point that I'm making. And in fact, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, Sri Krishna is explaining this point very, very nicely, that when you surrender your actions unto me, I become responsible. And the bondage that was going to be created will not be created. So this is how he has explained to us in the sixth point. Please let me know if you all want to ask anything, if there are any doubts. So far, good? Yeah, thank you. Now, I'll proceed to point number 7. In point number 7, Sri Krishna is mentioning a detail that Lord Brahma, who created the 84 lakh species, when he manifested this 14 worlds, and when Lord Brahmaji, he manifested the 84 lakh species in the 14 worlds, what did he do? He made a particular law for everyone to follow. What was that law? That whatever the individuals, the human beings, will perform as their actions every day, they will have to surrender it to the Lord. So, why did he do that? Because when that particular action is surrendered to the Lord, He will take care of the sacrifice that you have made. I'll give you one small example of what I'm trying to say. If your mother has cooked food and she prepares a thali for puja, for bhog, and she surrenders it to the Lord, right in the temple of your own house. Every day, if she's doing this, what does it mean? That out of the actions which she is doing, a part of it she is taking, and as a sacrifice, she is giving it to the Lord. This is your part. We offer it to Sri Krishna. Now, once that sacrifice is being made, what will happen? That sacrifice will be accepted by the Lord and rewarded. You all understand this? Similarly, as students, whatever you are studying, all that knowledge that you keep gaining, if out of that knowledge you impart some knowledge or a gist of that knowledge to some needful person, you are again making a sacrifice. That will be rewarded too. As a business person, the person who is earning for himself and his family, he'll earn. But if a certain amount is being sacrificed for the needy, the poor, or for the sake of dharma, etc., then that sacrifice is also rewarded. And this law, as per point number 7, is made right at the beginning of the creation. So, every generation after generation, everyone has been following this law so that whatever sacrifices that they make, they will be rewarded for those sacrifices. So, in short, those who do not make sacrifice, Sri Krishna says, they are like thieves. એ તો ચોરના જેમ છે. They are like thieves because what will a thief do? He will take something and run away. Similarly, the nature is giving us so much. Lord Sri Krishna is giving us so much. And if we just take it from him, we do not give him back. We are like thieves who have taken away and run away. We are not expressing our gratitude, or we are not doing the sacrifice towards him, isn't it? So, those who are wise, those who have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and the other scriptures as well, they know it very clearly that there is an importance of sacrifice. If you make a sacrifice, if you partly take your income or your food or your knowledge, etc., whatever you gain, if a part of it you just give it back to the Lord, that amounts to sacrifice. And that will be rewarded for sure. For those who do not want to make that sacrifice, they are like thieves because they are only having a selfish motive, isn't it? So, the most important thing we learn here is that when you make a sacrifice, you're earning or you're doing a particular karma becomes complete because it will be rewarded by grace of the Lord. So this is the point 7 that Sri Krishna is making here in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, are there any questions? Should I wait for you all if you all are noting down? All right. So I'm proceeding. The 8th point tells us those who are spiritually minded, when they eat food, the first thing which they will do is not eat it directly, offer it to the Lord. That's a very important thing. For those who have been involved with me during the sessions that we were doing, we have also done a few chopais that when you're before eating, you're supposed to say that chopai. For example, for recollection, महाप्रसाद को पाए के शरणामृत को ले चला जाए परम धाम को जग को मुक्ति दे. When you say that chopai, just imagine that your mother has served food. It's in the plate. It comes on your table. Just pray to the Lord that, oh Lord, this has to be first taken by you. I offer it to you, and only then I'm going to have. That makes a huge difference because now the food which you're going to consume has become pure enough, like a prasad. Otherwise, everything was same in that food. However, when you have food without offering it to the Lord, that food is mere food. But the food that is offered, and then you have it, that is prasad. It is pure. When you have something pure, the purity in you will increase day by day. It is as simple as that. And when we do not offer it to the Lord, there is no purity in us. Even for that matter, if you see your Christian friends, those who follow this, they pray to the Lord before having food and say that this is the bread which I've earned today. I am having this food. I do not know what I'll do in the evening, but right now, what is there in my plate, I offer it to you because they are expressing their gratitude towards the Lord. So, dear friends, it is extremely important that whatever food we have, and this is specifically mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, that whatever food you have, that should be offered to the Lord first, and then you have it. That will increase the purity in you day by day. So, the chopai, which we have already done, and by any chance, if the others do not have it, then I will just post it across, and you all can then copy it from the notes. So, those who are spiritually minded, they will have food as a sacrifice, as a prasad. However, those who only know to eat, those who are selfish, they will have food, but for their own enjoyment. What, what a big difference, isn't it? One is selfless eating, જેને આપણે કહીએ નિસ્વાર્થ ભાવથી આપણે જમીએ છીએ. The other one is selfish eating only for the sake of the body. So there are two different visions, dear friends. Please concentrate on this because if you offer food to the Lord and then you have it, it will give you a lot of purity. Also, make sure what kind of food can be offered to the Lord. Okay. If some person is having non-veg, and if that thing is offered to the Lord, no, it is null and void because you cannot offer such things to the Lord. But the food that we eat should be something which we can offer to the Lord, which is also called sattvic food, in other words. So, all that again is being explained in Bhagavad Gita when we do chapter 17, 18, etc. All that will also be explained in detail. So, right now, I will not go in that. I'm just proceeding with this chapter 3. Okay. Is it clear so far? Any questions? Please let me know. Okay. So then, uh, now I will give you the further points. Yeah. Now, here is point number 9. I know we are not doing the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. We're just trying to touch upon the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. However, this particular shloka, that is the 19th shlok or the 19th verse of the third chapter, is very, very important. It's worth imbibing in your life. So that is why I have just copy pasted it for you all as well. I'll just read it out. You can see the English version also because Hindi I know you all cannot read. Tasmad आसक्तः सततम कार्यम कर्म समाचर आसक्तो ह्याचरण कर्म param apnoti purushah. This is the verse 19. There is a particular tune to it in which it has to be read or recited. Tasmadasaktaha satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushah. So, what does it mean? If you read the meaning also has been given, giving up attachment, perform action as a matter of duty. This is the crux of this particular verse. We have been talking about it, right? Give up the fruits of action, give up attachment to the fruits of action. But why is Sri Krishna saying that? So that whatever action you perform, the fruit is definitely going to accrue, good or bad. And actions are performed endlessly. Therefore, fruits will also accrue endlessly. How many fruits will we experience? The more and more we experience the good and bad fruits, the entire life is spent in that. Not only that, these fruits will bind us to take another birth, isn't it? So, keeping all that in mind, Sri Krishna says, better is that you give up the attachment to the fruit. You just surrender your action to me. And if you do so, the work that you perform will be a duty. You will be duty bound to do a certain thing. As a student, I am duty bound to study. As a mother, I am duty bound to cook food and to bring up my children. As a father, I am duty bound to bring up my entire family, to shelter them. So everyone has their own duties. But if we think that I am going to get a particular fruit out of it, I should not be thinking of the fruit. Rather, I should be thinking about my duty. If you think about the fruit of the action every time, the more and more you think, the more and more you're attached. And what will happen? What you think, if that does not occur, then you become angry. Then you become stressed out. You become depressed. Why is this thing not happening? So the Lord says, do not even think of the fruit. Just keep on doing your duties, keep on doing your actions in the form of duties. I will give you the fruits, whatever I want to give. So, in short, just leave it to Him, but do your best. Many a times, people say that I will do a certain thing when the Lord will command. Upparwala hukam hase ne to hu karis. But that hukum or that command or His grace is always there. There's no point where His grace is not there. But if we do not work sincerely, if we do not understand our duty, then we are unable to perform our duty. And we think that hukam nathi, there is no command of the Lord in doing that. There is no grace. But that is not the case. It is our own sincerity that the fruits will definitely accrue, and the Lord will give you the best of the fruits. So, making sure, if possible for you people, please, I would say the 19th verse is very important. So, at least, if possible, you all can just read it. Let us say, every day, if you read it once, after about a few days, you will get a knack of the words and you'll be able to remember certain words because this is a very important one. So that is why I have given it to you. Point number 10. Sri Krishna is now saying that any person can simply remain actionless. But if he does so, what will the society do? The society, the people around you, if you are a parent, your children, they will start doing the same thing. They will copy you. That my mother has been doing so and so, I will also do that same thing. Or my father, you are not inspiring them to do something good, isn't it? By remaining actionless. Therefore, Sri Krishna says that even if it is not required for myself to perform any actions, yet I perform all my actions. Why? People are looking upon me. Whatever the Lord will do, we will also do. So, Lord Sri Krishna says that I have that superpower. I can just remain inactive and everything will be done by my command. He has that power, right? But I will not do that because the people, they are following me. So whatever I will do, the people will also do. So I have to make sure that I have to perform all my actions so that the rest of the people will also be inspired by me. So, dear friends, if we think that we perform actions only for ourselves, it is not so. Actions are performed by us, no doubt, but people take note of our actions. Never do such actions which will not inspire others, but in fact, there are some actions which we do, knowingly or unknowingly, which will not inspire the others. Rather, they will be demotivated. My mother is doing such a thing. My father is doing such a thing. So, looking at your actions, they will be inspired. They should be inspired, right? Not demotivated. So, many a times I've been telling uh, parents, if you want to teach your child to learn, to read, to write, do it yourself. And automatically the child learns. But it is seen that in today's world of social media, parents are always, some or the other social platform, they're engaged in that. And then they want their children to be, focused on studies. Then they want their children that they should not be touching the mobile or the gadgets. That's not possible because whatever you do is followed by your children. If you read, they will also read. They will be inspired. That my mother, my father, they are reading so and so thing. Let me also read. If my mother and my father are going to the temple and doing seva, let me also do that. So there is a inspiration that your kids will derive from you. But if you do not do proper actions, they will also be demotivated. And despite you keep telling them repeatedly, they will always think, oh, my mother is not doing this. She's just keeping on telling me. So, Sri Krishna says, as wise people, we are supposed to do our actions in any case. And we should do it in such a way that the others will be inspired by us. So, when Arjuna refused to wage a war, he refused to fight, Krishna says, oh, Arjun, why are you refusing to fight? It is your duty because you are a warrior, you are a Kshatriya, and you're supposed to fight. You are fighting for dharma, for righteousness, not for your own selfish motives. So, O Arjun, if you do not fight, how will the others be inspired to fight for righteousness? The others will think that when somebody as brave and as powerful as Arjuna did not fight, then why will we fight? So that is not a good way at all. We should keep on doing our duties. That's what Sri Krishnaji is telling here, that set an example for the others. That's the way we should be. Now, he says, whatever actions great persons perform, the common people, they follow it. So, whatever standards they set, and all that the world will also pursue. So, great persons are looked upon by the entire world. But if you say in your own family, your own children, the young are going to follow you. The elderly people will also think that, so and so person, the leader of the family or the active person of the family, when he is doing such a wrong thing, why shouldn't I do? So, in short, whatever you do will be passed on to the others. So, please make sure, as per Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, when you do your actions, make sure that you do it in a beautiful way. You motivate the others. You set standards for the others, not that you are demotivating them. So, any doubts up till now? Yeah, right. So, I'll take a few more points. Just give me about half a minute.
Which chapter are we studying right now?
We're doing chapter 3.
Chap- Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Now, point number 11. Sri Krishna says he's talking about himself as a Lord because he's taking care of the entire 14 worlds. He's sustaining the entire 14 worlds. You all can imagine there are so many creatures in this, not only the human race, but also the animals, the birds, all the 84 lakh species. There are innumerable creatures in the 14 worlds, and he is called the sustainer or the manager of all the 14 worlds. So Sri Krishna says that even though I am the sustainer of the 14 worlds, I have that magnificence, that power that I can take care of the entire 14 worlds sitting at one place. Only by giving a command, only by delegating a part of my duty to somebody, I can take care of the entire 14 worlds. So, even though I have that much capacity, yet I am engaging myself in performing every duty of mine. Because if I do not do that, how will the 14 worlds be inspired to do their actions? They will simply say, when the Lord is not performing his part of actions, why will we do our actions? Even for setting an example to the 14 worlds, to all the creatures in the 14 worlds, I have to perform my duties and I do that. Knowing that if I do not perform my prescribed duties, then all the men, human beings, they will follow me and they will also not perform their actions. Then, further, he says, if I cease to perform my prescribed actions, then all the worlds will perish because nobody is performing their actions. So, in the 14 worlds, there will be a pandemonium. There'll be havoc. Nobody is performing their actions. Business people are not creating business. Women are not cooking and taking care of their children. Students are not studying. So, in such a situation, the entire 14 worlds will collapse. So, the Lord says that the entire human race will be destroyed if I do not perform my duty. So simply by my command, I could have done so many things, but I will never do that. I will every time come over, and every time I will take an incarnation, a form into the mortal world and teach humanity that being a Lord also, I am performing every duty of mine. How are we inspired? We look at Sri Ram, we look at Sri Krishna, the way they have spent their lives, the way they have discharged their duties and responsibilities towards the society, towards their family, and everything. So we get inspired by all those things. But if they would not have performed their actions, then we would have simply taken a message from that, a conclusion that even I will not perform my actions. So Sri Krishna says that, especially when there are ignorant people, if you are surrounded by some ignorant people, then make sure that you perform your activities to the best. You discharge your duties to the best so that they will not be misguided. They will look upon you as a standard, and your actions will be followed by them for sure. So, those who are wise will never give up actions. They will keep on performing their actions and keep on inspiring the others. So, this is the standard message which Sri Krishna is giving us in point number 11. I hope that you are able to understand, because if there are any doubts, then kindly let me know so we can clarify those doubts. Now I'm just trying to copy paste the point 12. I think this should be the last point for the day. Okay. It's point 13 here. All the activities are carried by the three modes of nature. Now, this is a exemplary point, and I really wish that everyone is very attentively listening to this. Sri Krishna explains to us and to Arjun that any activity that I perform, for example, right now I was trying to copy paste the notes and you all were trying to note it down. I'm trying to talk and you all are trying to absorb. This process is going on. That's a part of our action today. After some time, we will be eating, we will be sleeping, and all those things. All this is a part of our routine activities. Now, whatever we are doing is actually being uh, propelled by three modes of nature. If we want to gain knowledge, we try to note down. If we want to impart knowledge, we're trying to give it. We are trying to prepare notes and then give it to the students, right? So I'm trying to say that the three modes of nature, like the mode of purity, peace, and knowledge, Satguna, the second one, okay, no issues. I will do it. I will do it. I will share the points number 1 to 8. Just give me some time. So, yeah, the first mode of nature is the mode of purity, knowledge, and peace. That's called Satgun. The second mode of nature is the mode of passion called Rajagun. And the third one, as we know, is the mode of ignorance, just Tamogun. Any actions that we do are inspired by either of the three modes of nature. Please make sure. So, because of these three modes of nature, we do the activities. But now Krishna ji says that Because of the ignorance within us, because we do not know a certain thing, we think, I am the doer. The attitude of doership is there in us. So, is it we who are doing it? Sri Krishna says, the soul is not doing it. It is actually the three modes of nature which makes you do it. But if you mistake yourself, I am the doer, I am the doer, every time you keep on reminding yourself, મેં કર્યું છે, જમવાનું મેં બનાવ્યું છે. અને જે પણ કંઈ બિઝનેસનું, વ્યાપારનું જે કંઈ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન્સ કરી છે તે મેં કરી છે. In that mepan, in that attitude of my and mineness, attitude of doership, we are involving the soul within us, thinking that the soul is the doer, but it is not the soul who is the doer. Sri Krishna says in the verse in Bhagvat Gita, Guna Guneshu Vartante. The three gunas or the three modes of nature are making you do the actions. So please understand the hidden meaning of this. Do not mistake yourself to be the doer. The three modes of nature are making you do the actions, and you think that the soul is the doer. It is not so. Therefore, in point number 13, Sri Krishna ji is saying that those people who are enlightened, who are illumined, they will distinguish the soul and the karmas. They will understand that my soul is not the doer, it is rather the gunas in me, the modes of nature in me, which are actually making me do the karmas. The soul is just a witness to all that. Therefore, what point is he trying to drive us at? By saying this, he is trying to drive us to a very beautiful point. He says that we have the body, there is the mind, there are the senses, and everything is there. The inner and the outer instruments are there in us. And all those instruments, they perform or they engage in the activities because of the three modes of nature. Therefore, do not be mistaken that my soul, the three gunas, the body, the inner outer instruments are the same. Do not be mistaken. They're all different things. The soul is called the master. And the soul becomes a witness to all the actions that are being performed by the gunas or the three modes of nature in us. So, those who are wise, those who are illumined, they perceive that the three gunas are making us do actions. The three gunas, sometimes they make the mind do the action, sometimes they make the senses do the action. But ultimately, if you go to the roots of the action, it is the three gunas who are making you do the actions, the three modes of nature. So, the wise people will not get entangled in the actions. They will not look to gain the fruits of the actions. They will simply sacrifice the actions to the Lord. So, this is the outlook of the wise people, the illumined people, that they know for sure that the three modes of nature are making me do the activities. When we go out to earn, it is the mode of passion. When we go to study or to learn, again, it is the mode of knowledge and peace because we want to gain knowledge. Sometimes the body is not keeping well or we feel very lethargic. That is the mode of ignorance. So, what is making you do a certain action? It is the three modes of nature. It is not the soul. At this point, he is making it very, very clear. And finally, I think this is the last point of the day. Anyone, Sri Krishna says to Arjun, if he will find faults in my teachings of Bhagavad Gita or any other teachings, that person is going to ruin himself because the Lord is trying to explain, trying to bring out what is hidden. And if you do not accept it with ease, then you are trying to ruin yourself because you are going against the Lord, you're going against the principles of the Lord. So that is why Lord Sri Krishna says, whatever teachings that I am imparting to you from Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, everything is for your good. How will you perform your actions? It is all for that. Now, I have one request. Can you please post the chopai that we see before eating? Yes, sure, I will do that. So I will also the points number 1 to 8 are right there in the chat. The first chat, it begins with point number 1. So if you scroll up, you will get all the first to 8 points also. And the chopai, I will have to. Um, should I type it now? But it'll take a little while. Okay, just give me a minute to give the chopai.
Like you can post it
Uh,
later too.
Is it okay? Okay, fine.
Yeah, yeah. Take your time.
Okay, take care. Right. So I think we've done good enough for the day, and you'll have to churn this a little more because a lot of in-depth points have come. So please make sure that you try to understand any doubts, any questions. Please let me know because I'd be really pleased or happy to answer your questions. So um, yeah, we can call it a day, Kalpana. Thank you.
Yes, okay. તો બેસિકલી આપણે આજે એવું કવર કર્યું કે કૃષ્ણ ભગવાન એવું કહે છે કે જે પણ આપણે કરીએ કર્મ, જે પણ કામ કરતા હોય આપણી ડ્યુટી સમજીને કરો એમ.
Exactly.
હા, એનું કઈ પાછું રિટર્ન નું અપેક્ષા ના રાખો એમ.
બિલકુલ બિલકુલ રિટર્ન મળવાનું જ છે ફ્રૂટ્સ તો મળવાના જ છે પણ આપણે એક અપેક્ષામાં બેસી રહીએ એ નહીં કરો બીકોઝ અગર આપણે અપેક્ષામાં બેસી રહીએ કે મને આ ફ્રૂટ મળશે મને આ મળશે મને આ મળશે તમારું માઇન્ડ એ ફ્રૂટ્સમાં સંકળાઈ જાય અને જ્યારે ફ્રૂટ્સની સાથે એ માઇન્ડ જોડાઈ જાય તો એનાથી આપણને એક કર્મ લાગવું પડે જે આપણને બંધન લાગવું પડે તમે બંધનમાં આવી જાઓ તો એ જ બંધનથી નેક્સ્ટ બર્થ થાય એ બંધનથી ફરી એક બર્થ થાય કૃષ્ણજી કહે છે કે તમે જે કર્મ કરો છો એનાથી ફ્રૂટ્સ જે મળવાનું છે તમે મારા ઉપર છોડી દો એની આશાએ ના બેઠા રહો ફ્રૂટ્સ તો મળશે જ એ તો ક્યાં જવાનું છે બટ તમે એની આશાએ બેસી રહેશો ને તો એ ફ્રૂટ્સના સાથે તમે મોહિત થઈને એમાં ને એમાં જ રહી જશો તો એવું ન કરો એના કરતા જે તમે એક્શન કરી જે કંઈ કર્મ કર્યું તમે બાળકોને મોટા કરવાનો હોય કે કમાવાનો હોય કે ગમે તે એક્શન કર્યું હોય એ એક્શનને શ્રી કૃષ્ણાર્પણ કરી દે બસ 100 વાતની એક વાત એટલું જ થાય છે કે એને તમે જ્યારે એમના પ્રત્યે સમર્પિત કરો છો કે મેં મારું કાર્ય કર્યું છે હવે આગળ આપ જાણો કે આપ કેવી રીતના મને આનું ફલ પ્રદાન કરશો મારી એમાં કોઈ અપેક્ષા નથી બસ એટલું કહી દો અને શ્રી કૃષ્ણજી વિલ ટેક કેર ઓફ એવરીથિંગ આપણે ઘણીવાર જે માંગીશું ને એના કરતા પણ આપણને જે સ્વતઃ મતલબ કૃષ્ણજી તરફથી જે મળશે ને દેટ ઇઝ વેરી બેસ્ટ બીકોઝ આપણે માંગી માંગીને શું માંગવાના હતા આપણી બુદ્ધિની પહોંચ જ નથી બટ શ્રી કૃષ્ણ જ્યારે દેશે હી વિલ ગીવ ધ બેસ્ટ
થેન્ક યુ સખી, પ્રણામ.
જી જી So we'll say the Jaikarr. बोलिए श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय सद्गुरु महाराज की जय श्री प्राणनाथ प्यारी की जय कृष्ण प्रणामी धर्म की जय बोल बोल पंजे वाले की जय समस्त सुंदर साथ की जय બધાને પ્રણામ. શુભ રાત્રિ. ટેક કેર.
પ્રણામ.
પ્રણામ. પ્રણામ.
સખી હેમિનાબેન છે, આજે નવા જોઈન થયા છે.
યસ,
હજી
એમના
આપણે
ડોટર ઓલા દિવસે
હા,
હતા એમ?
શ્રીજા અને
હા
જયશ્રી.
હા
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 બરાબર.
હા, ઓકે ઓકે.